posted a link and everything?
No. Oh.
Wait, where's that one?
Oh,
Yes, I previously cut back all those lady rhizomes and propagated assets, but.
I actually, stopped the data takers, on the way here.
Today?
Yeah. So, I picked up 2 other plants I'm gonna start propagating. Should be good.
Which ones?
It was I don't remember.
Are these yours?
Yeah, so this.
I'm like, you trimmed the saran wrap.
I do, I put the saran wrap on and then I just trim it around the edge, you can barely, like, you can't even tell it has a.
Yeah, I was like, hey, what is that?
Yeah, it's cool, right? So.
Those are nice, because you don't really have to do much, because,
I don't, I put it in there, I don't do anything to it.
yeah, because my one has been, I rarely open that bin, and sometimes it's like way too humid in there, conversation with that one's always in there fine, flowering.
And only when every once in a while they get sucked down, right? It's like.
Oh,
they
because of
use
the
up
air
oxygen
pressure.
or something.
I think it's the air pressure, because like when we get like heavy air pressure on the outside.
So every once in a while, but it just keeps, it stays like that, right? So then every once in a while I'll pull it off and then I'll just check to see if it needs a little drink or anything and then I'll put a new lid on it.
Yeah, I was saying the one's getting like clear glass plate saucer from like the thrift store, just to.
Mhm. Those work really good too. I'll do that sometimes if I can find like a perfect size.
Yeah.
Or even sometimes you can find like a coaster that'll go upside down on this, but then you can't really see. And this one's really cool the way it, you know, it just, but I think this is also something like, if we got little plastic wine glasses, that we could, you know, we could propagate these and sell them for a little bit more as a terrarium, you know, in the sale.
Giant plastic wine glasses.
Not the giant ones, like.
Well, they almost has to be like that size, or.
Yeah, you can do a little bit littler one, because this has been going for a little bit now, like a few months, probably since March. But, I've got 2 more on top of this. So mine's just been growing like
Oh, you
crazy.
split it up?
Yeah, it's just going like
Yeah.
crazy.
I've got mine, I mean, mine's just kind of stay small in the pot, because I just have it in the pot. I mean, it keeps flowering, but.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good one because of the flower, it just is nonstop flowering. But it makes me, after Darren pointed that thing out, it makes me wonder if this has got like a UV coating or something on it, because the leaves are a little bit different than this.
What kind, are they under grow light or regular?
Yeah, they're under the exact same light at the exact same place.
Mine's a pretty low light, because it's like on a shelf that doesn't have light above it, and like there's beds and ferns above it, so it only gets like a little bit of light.
Is it dark?
Dark, I mean, it's not like bleached out like that, it's not like dark.
Because this one's, they're under the same exact light, so that makes me wonder, if this maybe needs.
I think you can move it a little bit farther away from the lake and do it there, it'll get darker.
Because this one, like, I think needs food, is actually, because it's been in this since we got it.
October.
So I'm guessing it's out food, right? I'm guessing it's out food. I can.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready? Alright. First one that, residents they're working on, and they have it down one lane, and it takes forever to get through there, and every time I'm like, why didn't they come this way? Which I have to do now.
Zach Floriana.
This,
Emma
yeah,
and KK.
and so what's this one? Gold Brown.
Oh, they sold it in the.
No, I bought this
One more. MONIKA. Where was that from?
Yeah, I was there the other day,
No.
I got a new Rosemary Mosa, because my
Yes.
one almost died, but it's coming back this time, I'm like, oh, I want to get one. And then they had a big pot of Iridian Jaya, like a
Thuringia.
IRIAN. I always want to say Iranian, but it's like IAN Jaya, and like a big. So it's just like flowering constantly.
Reverend Rosa, they had a hard time keeping that one alive at the Botanic Garden, right?
Oh, when I went there, they were like 3 feet tall.
Yeah, they kept trying to going and stuff,
But I think maybe when it gets too hot, it's over, they die back.
decline, yeah, they had a hard time. Well, and there's such a high humidity, and they didn't have that high humidity.
Especially when it's hot.
Yeah.
Probably not hot, yeah.
The hard one.
I think it's, yeah, chocolate and hot rubber sports starts to decline.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
One more second.
I have a Velita that just won't die. Like, it's like this tall from the ground, and I keep chopping it down, and so it's fine. It's a species cane. It's like one of those canes that has like stems this big, right? But it blooms like crazy, so it has really, really beautiful leaves that kind of real dark green, and then the leaves are kind of wrinkled looking, and then they kind of sit almost upright, and then the flowers come up above it, they're white, all white. So it's real pretty, but it's been living its best life, like in total neglect.
I'm just waiting for it to finish so we can start.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I never read the plum. Aglaé has really good, thrives on aglaé.
Where's the stop?
Maybe I'm like over
Like right there.
water or something, probably.
Yeah, you gotta, because it just
Let's see, I
looks.
like peltata, which like, my peltata is very similar.
The Beltane baby is a great, it loves neglect too, so I think, sometimes I think it's the one you get, right?
Well, yeah, my peltata is very good. Yeah, when they're COVID and say, when I still look down there, so they have a mosquito from there.
Right. So, yeah, so I think sometimes it depends on, if it's doing well,
Yeah,
and if the one you.
versus if you had like a new start.
Yeah, and it just never gets a good start or whatever, but that Beltane I got from you, from the sales, doing awesome.
I thought it's really good sale, I don't think it's sold anyone.
Really?
And like, they were like really, pretty big colored.
I gave a Venosa to my friend, and she's like, I love that. She goes,
I
I
saw
like
when you Google it, Martha Stewart has one, so I'm like, I need to print out Martha Stewart's little article and like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. This is our first day. Welcome to May. Wait, this state doesn't have.
Feels like me.
Yeah, I just assumed it was May for the subtitles. Yeah, so today is going to be not all over the place because I have a very specific set of things. It's going to be try and keep the businessy side to minimal, so maybe 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, I mean, all their major planning stuff is
Yeah.
done, so I'm just gonna report on.
Okay. All right, so I guess we can start with the treasury report.
Our Huntington bank balance is $320.45. I did have to just order plant labels for the Cactus and Succulent Society on Amazon, and then FedEx printing, I got new signs printed out on my natives, that's like $30 for both of those. Our Harmony invoice is $639. He gave us net 30, so that's still May 8th to pay it. However, we're not gonna get paid from the Cactus Succulent Society for like another 2 weeks, so I'm gonna have to put that by credit card, and then I'll just pay myself back once we get enough money in our bank account. Harmony was nice enough, or just forgetful enough not to charge us tax. So the only fee they charged us was just a box, we gave 4 boxes at $6 each. So, and then also, Ben Baker did not charge us any shipping or freight, he said it's on us, so if you see Ben next time up here at Baker's Acre, say, hey, I'm in the Pagoda Society, thanks so much for supporting us.
Yeah, I actually talked to the cashiers who are aware, like, getting the shipping through them.
Yeah, so that was very nice. I mean, the only mess up was Harmony, their new owner, they're a little disorganized still, and apparently their label printer broke right before they sent us stuff, so a lot of stuff wasn't labeled. So a lot of the canes were, the Rhizolimus and like Rex and the species were easy to ID, but because all their cane hybrids look very similar, I was going back and forth with emails and photos trying to get IDs, and some of them I'm still not 100% sure, so I held them back to grow them out in my greenhouse a little bit so they flower, so I can get better, more for sure identification, just because I don't want to release or sell wrongly identified plants. So I mean, we'll sell those or we'll distribute them amongst ourselves once we get a better idea what those are. But it kind of just got to the point where it's like, okay, I'm just going with what he says, even though I still have some doubt of what this guy says they are because he's new. But anyway, it was kind of annoying, but I think going forward they'll be better organized and better labeled with their plans hopefully for next year. We were later this year. So
Okay.
that's my headache. I've been going through them. I'm like, all right, it's done. They're just plants. And then Janelle and I are going to sell the remaining. I mean, you're going to take some up to the Cleveland sale, but Janelle and I will take much to sell at the pop-up market on Saturday, the 11th, at Indoor Gardens. So, and we're also going to, anyone wants to buy any here, we're looking at selling them 20% off mark, or we can discuss some of what we think.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't even did that. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I got for that.
Cool. All right, so, Nancy brought up the next month is the Memorial Day, on the actual meeting day.
Yeah, that's a phone number.
So we can either move it after, I can't really do before because I'm doing the sale.
Yeah, oh, you're,
It's
Oh.
16, 17.
for some reason I thought you were saying the same as the number, like, when I said you were doing, okay.
No.
Okay, so you're the following weekend?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can,
So we can push it back a week or,
yeah.
I would just skip it, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay to skip,
okay.
but it's up to everybody else.
Because are we gonna end up kind of having 2 meetings in July, because we're gonna do the greenhouse tour plus a regular meeting?
Me too.
June, or when are we doing the germplasm? Is that June?
That's July.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we should skip it, or, the other idea was to do a virtual one. I'll just go up to the, Rockefeller Greenhouse up there and, do it from there, because they have notice there.
No, like a virtual tour.
Ish, the only problem with that is,
I mean, we can also contact Barb and just see if there's another Sunday we can switch it to here. Just to get our money square on our,
yeah,
total price that we paid for here.
okay, so just mark that as, that one specifically, potentially virtual. So like that way at least it's still recorded, even if you don't watch it that day. Just to keep consistency, to be honest, but, okay. And then the other ones, does anybody have any conflicts at that point, or little points? Okay.
July, I still don't know. When they're doing Christmas birthday. So if it's that weekend, yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to go to the OSU or if we're still be around there on Sunday.
No problem. Okay, so, that is that. So I was talking yesterday, Elizabeth, about the propagation containers, These are the ones I was talking about.
Okay, so that's what's kind of thinking like a to-go salad container from like.
Yeah, so like, my only issue with it was that this doesn't rise higher, which I didn't like, but they didn't have any options like that. Cause my thing was specifically to get some kind of yield on it, cause this is a pain to keep closed.
It doesn't have much of a lip, because have we contacted like the Fort Worth Botanic Garden to see what they use and stuff, because.
They use the same thing.
They use
No, theirs has quite a bit of a lip.
they might use a different brand.
Yeah.
Like they order off Amazon or they go to a restaurant supply store, they get a different size.
Yeah, yeah.
So and some of them, they have the big plastic bell cloches on top.
Yeah, they use a bell cloche with that has a bottom. Those are pretty expensive. But like their cheaper ones are salad bowls, and they have like a lip like this, so it's really easy to keep it closed because they just use, the butterfly clip.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they just use those on the sides, and it holds on just fine because it's got a significant lip to it.
Yeah.
So I think that's like one of the things I think we should contact the Botanic Garden and find out what they're
See which
using,
ones they
yeah, what kinds of stuff they're ordering and stuff, because I'd like to see us, if we went in on like an order too, I would buy a bunch of those bell cloches, because I like those too.
I did get some of the Dollar General paddling in this year. I got a few. It's a really thin, flimsy plastic though. It doesn't sit on the lid. It sits kind of like an inch down inside the bowl. Although it still makes it taller, and it has like an open and closable little vent thing on top. I mean, for like $1.25,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
You don't know though, that size, if you have something really small to start, I kind of like what you're saying,
The float
the
bed
shut. Because when we did the trade before, I know, like little starts and stuff, and I think that size would be good for that one.
yeah, so like that's kind of what I was getting for the lack of propagation there. So like we can use smaller propagations, because this is going to keep higher humidity, and you don't have to put it in as high light as this to keep it alive, because this blocks a lot of light versus this. Which is why actually I moved this, so where I'm propagating the cuttings for next month, I'm also moved this under there, and it looks significantly better than last time. Like it doesn't look pale or faded.
like when you put it away from the light.
Huh?
You went to higher light.
Yeah, well, it's a lot closer to the light. It's maybe this far away from the light.
Oh, wow.
That's how mine runs. Some of they're just like so faded, and then
Or yellow, years ago, it looked yellow, well, mine get that kind of yellowy, kind of funky.
And that's what he was talking about, so it gets
Like
chloride because of the coating on the plastic, so it
Yeah.
depends on what you're using for plastic.
So, which is why these.
some of yours like your Ferox, those are limestone. They might be low on calcium. You might need to fertilize them with some calcium.
I was telling you, I have a big cherry out there, limestone. I thought it
Yeah, or
would put on
you
my
can get a cabinet, liquid cabinet, and let that in water.
Yeah, because they work kind of.
Because sometimes when this, a lot of Ferox, maybe I'll just.
Yeah.
I have one of the things for saying that, because I have one that I'm thinking, maybe, like a dose of natural.
Well, at least some of the calcium.
Does it work for growing that calcium? I think it does.
So with these, this has never been fertilized
That looks amazing too. How long has it been in there?
since we did it last year.
Oh, really?
What, yeah, that was true, I wasn't here that time.
When we did these gold terrariums, were you ever want to build gold
Yeah, I mean,
terrariums?
I remember that. What month?
That was like probably
Summer?
May, it was like May, June.
Okay, summer.
Yeah, and this has been in there just like this. I'll open it every now and again and spray some water in it, just because it does have holes in the top. But I've never fertilized it.
I don't fertilize most of mine, I was just saying for the limestone lover terrarium, like the Milan loves, the Ferox is. If you're not planting it with some like limestone chips or dolomite lime powder, you might sometimes need to fertilize it with like a calmatic liquid or something else with calcium. in it, 'cause they will get yellowish if they haven't had any
Yeah.
calcium in there.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, that's the one she did. I didn't make this. Mine got a long time.
Mine's
don't
I have no idea how to look.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, I put some much stuff down. So there was, and then, I was going, spider. Yeah, so look, that was the idea for these. My idea is to test out how these work as long-term propagation. So that way, it could be the potential of just selling terrariums, like, or do a live demonstration on how to make a terrarium. Because my idea is rather than just say, here, take this terrarium, we'll build a terrarium with somebody, and then people can watch as that's happening.
That would be a kind of a cool thing to do also, because you can actually maybe cut around that and just place it into another container, right? And like, instead of like transplant it basically by
Yeah,
like
yeah.
cutting it down and then just put it in another thing, so that would be kind of cool like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do for mine. Because the ones, there have been a couple that I propagated. There was up in Cleveland, we have plant bingo. So I actually gave one of these terrariums to them. I gave a couple of them and this terrarium to them to give away as prizes. I also got to tell them about the society in return. Yeah, so like the idea of doing like a live on the spot terrarium building thing just take a couple of minutes, and people will tend to gather around that, and just let people kind of build their own interest in it.
And where did you get those?
Um,
Was it on Amazon or?
no, it wasn't. It was actually a food.
Okay.
Like web restaurant stores.
Yeah, I think that was actually the name of it.
I was almost.
They're good, they've got pretty good prices.
It looked almost like a nice size for like seed starting.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like what I use for leaf propagation, I just save like the lettuce clamshells with those hinge lids.
Yeah.
But like eventually they kind of quickly get, after a month or so, you gotta put it in something taller.
The
Yes.
rotisserie chicken containers are really good too.
Yeah.
That's what the African Violet Society uses in Texas. They use the rotisserie chicken. See a lot of chicken. I guess.
Yes. So like, that is the other issue, is that you can't do campaigns or anything tall in these. So these are specific to what starter propagation or something, or any slow growing Rex or rhizomes that don't get probably not Rex, because that's easy anyway. But yeah, so that was my idea so far. Is kind of doing mini classes on the site for people who are interested in sales.
So you wanted us to test long-term propagation in
Yes, that is why I brought up so
Okay.
I told Elizabeth yesterday.
Well, I thought we were
she was-
like planting like full plants, and like it's gonna be a terrarium that you never have to open again.
No, not like permanent, but just like, so my idea is I tend to use, let's call them I would say non-traditional materials, because I use vermiculite in everything. But in addition to that, I use like charcoal, worm castings, some of the, I think the last one I got was like a black gold fertilizer or something like that. And they tend to do really well. Like, I also didn't know that this was rhizomatous plant. So there we go. I also don't know what these little things are on there.
Which
I've
one
never
is
seen
it?
it.
Is it Elan?
No, this is rubbish. Those little, whatever those are, just grow on them. So, no, the little white things. the little-
Yeah.
It's just
Can you
everywhere.
propagate it from a bloom stock?
Well, I mean, I've never tried. I've never tried to
Because
propagate.
that makes me think you can propagate it from a bloom stock.
Yeah, I've never cut it since I got it.
Look at the little.
Just a bloom stock?
Look at the little nuts, yeah. Yeah, some of the.
Oh, those are the,
African-
crystal secretions, extra salts or whatever.
It's like a vegetation of.
Crystal salts, other plants.
Yeah, I've never had any other go do that, so.
I have, what's it, it's a tall cane that does this.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Contifolia, and
Yeah.
the other one
Yeah.
that's similar.
And I used to think, but every year it does it. But it usually looks pretty good when it does it, so I was pretty happy. Yeah,
Well, at first I thought it was like, slug and eggs or something, but I did have a problem with slugs. But slugs don't actually eat macaronis. They eat everything else but macaronis.
I have little tiny snails sometimes get in those rooms and leave.
Okay.
Or some moth.
Yeah, I don't have any more thing. But I also, I also have a bunch of other kinds of plants, so they kind of go to those first. Or I have carnivorous plants that just eat all the flies and stuff. So I actually don't bother with any flies, I just let them do that. That actually pollinates some of my plants, so that's cool. All right, so that's those terrarium stuff. The next one was.
So you want us to, are you gonna send us a link and we're?
So I thought the May meeting is when you were gonna get the search of small things, plants, and that's when we're gonna do. But now we're doing it May virtual, or we're gonna just reschedule for May?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Do we wanna see if the following weekend, check with Barb to see if there's availability here?
Yeah, we can do that. Oh, is it? Oh, I can't do it.
Because you were saying no other weekend in May, we're kind of all busy in May.
Yeah,
Because there's Mother's Day, and then you have your Cleveland sale,
yeah.
and then there's this one, which is Memorial. So we have to,
We'll figure something out, if not, we'll do it in June. At the worst case scenario, we'll do it in June. Can't do it the following weekend because I'll be doing stuff with Sequoia.
okay, so we're marking June 23rd as
Yes.
propagation.
Why don't we just
Are we-
say June?
We're just propagating all these plants that you're doing? Is that what we're doing in these?
Yes, so, I have 100 of these. So you can do one plant, multi-plant, it's up to you. So I'm gonna bring,
Propagate, do you want us also to potentially bring in other things to propagate for people to propagate too?
if you want to, it's totally up to you, like, anything you wanna do on top of that is whatever you wanna do. But,
Because let me know before you end up ordering what you're tentatively ordering, because some of the species people mentioned, I'm like, I have that, I can bring in.
okay, yeah, I haven't gone through it yet to get a list of everything we supply. I'll probably do that in a few days. Well, I said Wednesday, right? Yeah, so Wednesday I'll do that. And then I'll put that list out and then we'll kind of go from there based on ranks, so like who likes what the best. Actually, I kind of stole that from New York. Because that's how they do voting in New York, the rank choice. So it was just interesting to me, I just want to try it. But, so, what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, so, the idea behind that is I'll bring in, the plants, the containers, and different soils.
So it's begonia, it's propagation. Terrarium.
Yeah, I think you're getting confused, because you keep saying we're just terrariums, but really we're just
It's
propagating.
propagation, so I think we should
So
say.
they propagation, not, we're
Yeah,
not really like
propagation.
terrariums like that, right?
I mean, it'll grow into that.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
yeah, that's
but
good.
it's gonna be overcrowded, probably with multiple cuttings in the bowl that we're gonna have to divide up.
If you want to do it like that, you can take it. I have 100 of these. I have more than enough. Yeah, so the idea is to either propagate it how you're comfortable with, using whatever soil you're comfortable with. I'm gonna send out an email to see what kind of soils you all want to bring, and I'll bring like amounts of that. Because I really only use maybe 3 or 4 ingredients in mine. And that's kind of like, it's more than an interactive, because you're actually like using your knowledge for something that I'm just introducing to you. And that just seems more interesting, to be honest.
I think it'd be good if we also, when we did this, we posted our Facebook page with a specific hashtag for it, like propagation 2024 or something like that, and then we could all like post pictures of it every month or whatever to see how everyone's is doing, and then
Yeah,
like,
that's fine.
you can explain what you're using. Because then that way everyone will be able to get to see up close of what they did.
Okay, so with that, the other caveat in that, which Elizabeth is aware of, but I haven't actually said that to anybody else. So if you want to try it, these actually seal permanently. And you can see how long it goes. But you can rip this off and do that.
Oh, it's for like selling this out.
Yes.
Oh, got it, okay.
Yeah. So like these are what you see actually in stores. So this closes, and this just, it's kind of hard to close actually, but that, and it would seal if I could do it. Anyway, yeah, so this little part rips off and you get to open it again. But the idea is how long it will last untouched. If you want to take that challenge, you don't have to.
So the challenges basically are, we're gonna try to propagate in these containers, we're gonna try to not open them for as long as we can. And we're gonna try to see what different, media does for the propagation.
Yeah.
Right? So
But
that's
don't add too much moisture in there, or all your propagations are gonna melt if you don't open it.
If you do the soil right, you won't have that issue.
right, that's what we should talk about that when we're doing this, like what the soil friability or whatever should
Yeah,
be.
because like, you would have different.
And it's just kids.
Yeah.
There was a family walking in front of me with a bunch of kids with basketball sweaters coming down. Yes, and they're coming back.
So yeah, it may seem complicated now, but in the moment it'll be fun. I don't promise that. Okay, so that's that. That's the propagation prayer, is what I'm calling it. So we're going. Oh yeah, I am going to start with the email beforehand for the meeting. I forgot to do that this time. And that's what I'm trying to do about that. Virtual meetings. So I am going to be doing, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet, but a virtual meeting on top of the regular in-person meetings. Just because I have, I did not realize how many people actually like begonias, but just didn't know, like, not know anything about it, but just aren't aware of how much there is. And that's something that I found out at the plant pickup, because people were asking me for cuttings of begonias, and I had never asked for that before. So that's another thing that I was toying with, like doing virtual meetings on top of these. And then this guy, did you all see the, you all get the begonia? Okay.
Apparently I missed it, make sure to because my membership lapsed.
I think my membership lapsed.
They don't send you a reminder, they send you a notification, I'm like.
Oh, I have rejoined, but then I saw that May, June was out, but I haven't got it yet. So, did you get it yet?
Yeah, I got it. I got mine 2 days ago.
Oh, okay, maybe it's
Yeah.
not like that, okay.
Yeah.
But I guess to us, same thing, because it's like, oh, wait.
Like, yeah, you think they send you an email notification, like, hey, your
Yeah, I have
job's
mine.
expired, renew now, like, I swear I've never gotten it, you know?
I don't think I have either, now that
Like,
you're
I
saying
just
it,
have
I'm
to
like,
log in and
I'm
track
pretty sure I
it.
have a conversation, same thing, because I'm trying to listen to one of those speakers, and it's like, well, we're not a number anymore, and then by the time it's late, and they had to wait, and, yeah, so.
Yeah, I only got alert because the treasurer was emailing us, be like, hey, if you filed your 990 form on it, and they're like, also, after you haven't paid your membership fees.
Wait, what?
Oh, that email from Wendy Courtney, the treasurer, about our 990. Also, she's like, oh, you and Sequoia haven't paid your membership fee, or like.
I wasn't aware of that.
So,
Yeah, that's why I asked you if I
I'm like,
needed
so I went
to.
online and renewed it, I'm like, oh, I guess it expired back in November, I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's what I was asking you if I had to do it for the American Librarian Society.
I don't think you've ever actually had one there.
I guess they want officers to at least, I mean, ideally they want all members to be
ABS.
national members too, but I guess they kind of do track maybe officers being members too.
I was aware of
Yeah, it
that.
would be nice if they sent an email. 'cause-
Yeah, like it's all online, there should be a way for them to just automatically send.
Okay, so there's that.
Anyways,
So this guy, Mark, Drunkenbro, or however you pronounce it, he actually lives in Cleveland. He wrote, an article in the past two, Begonias. Yeah, I think they were about hybrid tubers. Yeah, growing hybrid tubers, begonias in the Midwest, part 1 and 2. So I wanted to try and get in contact, but they only put his name, they didn't put like any contact information. So I had to message them to see if I can talk to him about that.
yeah, and possibly if it's later in the year, we have more funds, I mean, we can offer him like maybe $100 stipend, like if he would come here to do a live meeting. I don't know.
Or even if it was virtual and we just were congregated for it.
Actually, we might be able to get national money if he comes and does live and we film it to make it available for all, because like it's an educational thing that's available to all ABS members.
Right.
They
Oh, that's a good
they will
idea.
pay or reimburse us like with their education,
Right.
something, like there's money for that.
Good idea.
Yeah, okay. You, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Interesting, I was not aware of that.
If you wanna tag me in the notes, I can look up who's on the national chair for the education. I
Fine.
think it's something like that, and then we can reach out to them and be like, hey, we have this idea, would funds be available for us to do this?
Which, speaking of the lady, or I don't actually, I always told her, the person for the seats. She hasn't contacted me back yet, so, I'm still.
And I checked it online, they don't really have any seats, so.
Yeah, well, she said she had held some back for us. And then they were getting some more, that she was supposed to hold, but I didn't follow up with her on that. That's been a couple months now.
That seed program was nuts 2 years ago.
Um,
Like, they had somebody who was taking care of it, and I think that person was declining in health,
yeah,
and maybe didn't, like, things didn't
I
happen.
Things from it a few years ago, but I swear like people weren't sorting them properly because I had really low to zero germination rates on all of them.
When I was at the Botanic Garden, we sent them thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of seed, and we were under the impression that they were gonna separate the seed into like little packets. They sold thousands of seed for like $3 or $6 each.
To like 2 people.
And I brought it up at the convention, at the yearly conference or whatever, I was like, dudes, we sent you thousands of dollars worth of seeds, but they didn't know who was doing it. So it's kind of probably reborn,
Building.
yeah, rebuilding now.
yeah, because I know the person I emailed, they sent an email to somebody else who actually managed the seeds. And, I don't know who that person is. So I
He
could.
used to be the guy in Houston.
Yeah, he was the.
But now I think it's on the West Coast.
Yeah.
But it would just reach out to the directly to the Begonia and be like, hey, can you
Yeah,
Seeds
can you guys,
directly
can you
from
guys
you guys.
collect some seeds and just send them to us? That'd probably be your best bet.
So, there's that.
I might, let me check, see if I still have some, I don't know if they're still good, but if we wanna do like a practice, like maybe when we're doing our propagation, I can see if I have seeds that people can practice with some cheaper before we try to grow these import,
Oh, yeah.
But even better, we could all just propagate our own, right? Because I mean, it's not that hard, you just do them and then you just tie them up or keep them from being pollinated by.
Yeah, I mean, I did do the pollination thing a year or so ago, something like that, which I mean, if we when we get more new members, I'm happy to teach that again, like how to pollinate, create seed,
Okay.
do that again.
Because they did a tour of the begonia bank and in that tour, there was a pollination section and I did it. So if we want to talk about that, we can bring begonias in and I can show you exactly how we did it, how we collected it, everything.
Okay.
We even had a special envelope folding.
Like a machine.
No, even this would be a little scrap piece of paper, we had to fold it a certain way.
Yeah, because when actually, for my person, I just put it in mold medicine things. Because that's just like how you did for yours. Yeah. We have so many. Because, anyway. So, yeah, so that's the guy I need to contact. I'm gonna be going to that soon. And I know he lives on the east side of Cleveland. I think, yeah, I'm not sure. And then other than that, I did want to, I had this idea based on the, what is that called? The Central Ohio Midwest Supplement. So when I was here, which was actually fantastic. I got a couple of cacti and some candles. Frankly. Yeah, the Fruit Loops one sounded exactly like Fruit Loops. Like, not even
Wait, what, how much for this?
a candle.
A what?
Candle.
That people sign candles.
Yeah,
You're talking
yeah.
about like a cactus line.
No, that would be
Begonia.
yeah, so, saw some of that stuff, I talked to some of the other groups. The people who were next to, I also didn't realize that the Orchid Society stuff this weekend, which is why Orchid Society didn't have that many stuff, I didn't have that much stuff there. But the Orchid Society were there with, I guess, some company they work with.
Yeah, well, Bastrop, the owner of that, like, is there, the society, yeah, I was talking to.
Okay. Yeah, I briefly talked to him, and I met, the guy from the Germicide one, I can't remember his name. And, yeah, and Andy's there, I don't know.
And is he still there?
I don't think he's working at a germplasm.
Oh, I don't know,
Okay.
that's just how I know, he said he might be, but I don't know. But I talked to him as well, there yesterday. What else was that?
Are you wanting us to come up with some other ideas for programming for the rest of the year, or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always open.
I kind of feel like maybe we should like swap presentations with some of the other local plant societies, like someone from the cactus come and do a presentation, not on begonias, but just on their thing, we go and do a presentation on begonias first one or something like that, I don't know.
Actually, it would be helpful. How was the
Like
meeting?
someone from the Orchid Society come here and do like how to build a coconut or like a mounted orchid, which we could then also try to do mounted begonias or something.
Okay. So, based on what, how was your response yesterday?
To, what do you mean from,
Like, how do people receive the Open Society?
I mean, we're always, they're happy to see us. I only got like one person sign up, who said a few people scanned our,
Yeah.
code for our Facebook page to follow that.
I think, like, a lot of what we have and the Canes, the comments was they all look alike. Because people coming in aren't very knowledgeable about the ordinance. So it seemed like they had people looking for the little kids picking out their favorite for Mother's Day, or a couple people looking for certain specialties, like somebody wanted a red Fred, and I was going to bring my big one's coming back, but I didn't bring that. I did bring it type, so a lot of people kept coming back with that. People there knew if they were unusual, they were real interested on that end, or other people maybe wanted a little more information, or other people just kind of walked by and, those are too hard for me, and just kept on walking.
Yeah.
So it was
I mean,
kind of a mixed
It's
bag.
like people, like there's a few other plant people who we know that they're major rare plant collectors, and they were looking for to normalize like rare tour begonias, which we didn't bring that many of. Or people just like, they really like pink, they want the pink, silvery pink leaves, silvery purple, pink leaves, purple, or like the maculatas. We sold all those that I propagated. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, like Harmony, like the new one, I mean, all Harmony's hybrids are starting to look the same. Although I talked to these, they're gonna kind of start calling their hybrids, because they realize they're all looking, like, they're gonna start making sure they have more distinct hybrids, I think. I mean, I think in the future we can request certain ones that we want, they might charge us a little more, like it's cheaper if it's just growers, because they'll just send us what they have. A lot of, whereas like, we got a couple begonia silver dollar, which is like silver pink little kind of Rex with round leaves. Those are popular. She knows what one she's gonna propagate. So like, we like request a bunch of that, or like, 2 years ago we got like Harmony's Denarius, which I propagated, and I had like one for sale, and like one lady's like, want that purple leaves, you know. So like, things like that, if we know like they grow, like, oh, that's what people want, like maybe we order just more of those than that, and I don't.
Or maybe we could, like, it would seem like if we know now, like, we should have a report, or you guys should kind of capture that information as much as
Yeah,
possible.
I mean, we're kind of still learning, I mean, we're getting a better idea
It
now.
seems like more we're interested in the Rhizomatous and even the Rexes than.
Yeah, those are kind of cheaper wholesale, so like,
Which I was kind of surprised, but a lot of people seem more looking more at those and maybe buying those.
and those are just
And
better
I
prices.
think, well, and I think because a lot of them were kind of like the leaf texture and
There's more variety.
Right.
And
that part of
things.
shape and everything. It's kind of, a lot of dark green work contains, but it looked like, if you didn't know, you would think, oh, it's all the same thing, probably.
So like, as far, I mean, you'll see what at the Cleveland sale, but like, for those of us who've been collecting a long time, like, we like the really like weird, unique species, but maybe the more casual collector or plant person doesn't appreciate, they just want pink purple leaves, or they want spiky, the spiky terrarium ones or something like that.
Yeah.
Or just maybe not a traditional Rex, but something sort of like a weird Rex, So we might just want to keep in mind, like, hey, we need to propagate some of these that aren't that exciting for us, but we know they sell well.
Like the maculata, like, we should just go. nuts
Like
on
that was my cost of farms when I got Lowe's that I got all late and I chopped up over winter, and even though those were little fakes, they were supposed to grow like they all sold.
They don't sell, yeah.
Which is so weird, so like they're at Walmart, we got for $19, and mine are bigger, and mine are like, I sold mine for 16.
But I've got like, did you have any Amphiopsis?
They put us one, but it looked like it got knocked over in shipping, and it just like wasn't that nice, so I held it back to grow it out a little bit more.
Or was it even like, you don't know?
So much, I couldn't tostadas from our cuttings, that I noticed sold. Ona, I had some secretalas, those sold, I had 2 of those.
Kind of Metallica that did, so I love people looking at it.
It was yeah, it's right pricing. I think, pricing's maybe a little too high to start with, we should just maybe price it. Because people don't kind of get like those Harmony cane hybrids, like, you know, they're not available anywhere else, and they're, some people really like, some people don't care, and kind of get to the point where I don't care about the hybrids.
So what price range, like, it'd be nice if we kind of knew like what the price range we should be in and what was really popular and what we should start.
I mean, the strawberries, we priced pretty, we went kind of like a easily to sell.
Did you guys take pictures of what you sold and how much you sold them for, or did you take pictures of everything to start with?
I mean, I have some general setup price, I mean, I kind of remember what I sold them for. I mean, the big thing was it came from, we started at $20, and then by the second half, I marked them all down to 16, and we sold a few more, but,
But they're like little 4-inch pots, so they.
they're 4-inch pot, I mean, they came 3, their wholesale for the 3 in the big pot was $15. They sell those 6-inch pots online for like $50, so.
I almost think if we had maybe a little more volume in that, maybe it's smaller and maybe lower prices,
Yeah.
which I don't know how, if they go any smaller there.
Or we should have just held some back under the table, so it wasn't just, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know if that would have made
Yeah.
a difference, because I thought the setup, I thought.
Yeah, it was nice having like a lot.
They had a lot of traffic, but of course, this is the Cactus Society circular, and a lot
Most
of
people there.
for that.
Yeah, so like,
Because I would
oh,
think
like,
that-
keep cactuses and stuff.
Because I would think that you would be able to sell a lot of like Venosa because it's really succulent.
Well, I had like 3 whole cactus that were really well groomed, like good size. I don't think any of them, they were like $15 for like a really full, taller, short finish pot. I don't think I sold.
It's like, you could even think maybe that's a fairly good price, like Steve's Lee's, but that's not the kind of people we have coming in.
Yeah.
That are knowledgeable about that.
Yeah,
So that was maybe
So-
a miss on our part, that we should have priced a little lower, because.
But then it's also, they take 20% off the top, so then if the price lower,
yeah.
you know, it's just, I don't know.
But you price a little lower and sell more.
Yeah.
Then it's
It's not
not
a trade-off.
Well, that's the thing, like, you know, if they send you a lot of stuff, but then we can't sell it, right? So it
I think we'll
might make sense.
Yeah, we're not gonna
to-
drop it, I mean, we'll still eventually, especially at the pop-up, I think we sold more of the angel wings and canes in the past at the pop-ups before. And we might. I don't know, 15, 5 for, I don't know.
Well, and
Yeah.
then, you know, if they grow out a little bit. they'll-
Yeah, they'll look better too.
Okay.
They're also like, I wish they had some cheap. I wish I had some at home, I'll donate like cachet pot, like cheap cachet pots to them, so it's a ready to go Mother's Day present for people or something. So that's the thing. I don't think any of those conchifolios sold. We have like 8 of them.
They look a lot like a, like.
But we don't have SVRBs, pepperomias, I'm like,
Yeah.
they're begonia. Which I'm just thinking like maybe just, those should be our challenge plan. Cause it's a species, we have 8 of them, whatever they're all saying.
Yeah.
So people wanna know. So I'm gonna say the conchifolios are free if you want one. You get a challenge plan or something. I don't think they need a terrarium. I mean, they've been
They
They've been out in the open the past 2 days, and before that, the past 2 weeks, they were in my outdoor greenhouse, which is unheated, so.
They look like a beefsteak, like a.
Yeah.
Right.
So we were thinking offering the rest for sale to members 20% off the market price. That way, I mean, we still get a little profit going to the club for them.
So like, so like for next year,
And then
we
the
should
rest
back up
will
and like
take,
start planning propagation for next year then, like, and try to get like, cause I've got a ton of Amphioxus, I could have started like,
yeah, I started to find out they built it, 'cause I had to, like,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, a couple of them are coming back, so.
But I could start a bunch for next year, like if I know that's what you guys want, right?
Well, I think, you know, that's kind of enough of a pop to it that
And people know it, because people post it online a lot, right?
Although I've been seeing them at regular garden centers for cheap, like Strader's sometimes gets them, and I think,
But they die fast,
Yeah.
like keep them in a terrarium, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen those straight.
I mean, it would be cute if we had like more of these kind of things
Yeah,
with an ambiopsis, maybe some other non-begonia, like a little fern thing,
string of frogs.
and sold these for like $40, I don't know. I mean, that's about if we can get these like.
Well, I just, if you can get these for
At the
like
thrift
less
store.
than $5 or something, I think,
Yeah,
I
like-
say we could do it.
I mean, we talked about like, hey, let's take out like buy resources for estate sales, we find cheap
Yeah,
visuals.
right.
Building terrariums and selling the terrariums, we just haven't ever.
Yeah, but like if we could do, but even like if we could buy the plastic stemless wine glasses. Cause they're like $2 or $3
Oh,
at
that's like the
Goodwill.
one I have that I put holes in. The shape of, remember I showed you yesterday, the clear.
Oh, yeah. So it's almost,
It's a drinking cup, but it's.
she uses that as like a pot for candy.
Yeah, I saw it.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Wait, can you put like two together?
Because it stands up. It's almost like a wine glass top, like it's a little deeper.
Stemless.
Yeah, but it,
I mean, we could also think about doing our main sale with the Orchid Society, because theirs is in fall, and that gives us summer to propagate, which is
actually.
sometimes easier for us to propagate.
It's a little more expensive to.
They do a table fee, or they take a percentage of the
I
sale?
thought it was just $100
Oh, well, that's not bad.
for the table, but it's at Polaris Mall, so it's in the mall, you know, all kinds of traffic, lots and lots of traffic. And we didn't do it last year, but if we planned ahead
But
and did all kinds of
during
stuff.
summer, so I can propagate a lot of stuff just out.
Yeah, but it is a 2-day, thing.
Well, do you have to be there both days though? You could just say you're there one day, right?
I don't know, I'm a member of them, so,
But
We're
typically.
talking about like building terrariums to sell.
But typically, if you like, so let's say this was smaller, you know, the little wine glass with the lid, when we just did this for the top, we just ran wrap, and then we showed people how to just redo it if there's anything happening.
I like that size.
I like this size, but I can't find more of these, this is
Okay.
hard to
Is
find.
that plastic?
It's glass.
Oh, it's glass, okay.
Yeah. But if we did like even the smaller and did antioxidants, when you put the lid on it and you have it like looking like this, it looks really special and people are really willing to spend more money.
I have 24 stemless wine glass. They're like normal size, but
Like we might.
I can bring a sample because I would maybe donate a dozen to see, because like they're plastic,
Yeah,
but we could sell mini begonia.
yeah, but if we did something like this, I think it tends to take it, you could sell them for a little bit more. I think.
But I like that
Yeah,
size. If we could-
I like that size too.
It doesn't have
I did find it at Goodwill, but it was like $5, which was like a brandy snifter, it was a little bit bigger than that. But that's a nice size too.
There's a site called Bulk Bar Products, and they have 12 ounce, a case of 12 ounce stemless wine glasses.
12 ounces. No, that's
This is
like
like, yeah,
24.
20, yeah,
or
But there's
36.
a smaller size.
That's like a quarter. That's
For
more like a quarter.
$13.45.
So, yeah, almost a little more than a buck.
We need TP full cocktails.
Yeah. Well, punch or whatever it is.
But like home goods or like TJ Maxx sometimes has.
Yeah, so let's be on the lookout for maybe some terrarium type things like this, but I think if we did something like this, you could get more money for it, right? Cause I
Yeah.
think people would spend $25.
Because potentially in like August, we could do terrarium builds here to sell, because I think the Orchid Society's in October.
Yeah.
So that gives them kind of 2 months to grow out a little, I don't know. Just throwing that idea out there.
I mean, that makes sense.
But you know what, we should also look at putting some sort of like a sticker or something on here that says the Begonia Society on it. You know, so people go, oh, where'd you get that? I don't remember, right? Oh, no, look,
They
you
have to
got
have
it
a
from
spot
the
where we can
Begonia
like write the
Society.
species name or.
Right, or even like I have the tag in this one, maybe we get just a sticker that we can put on a tag. We could even order them, like pre-made the whatever stickers, and we could just put the tag at the bottom that says Begonia Society, and then we could write in the name or something on it or something. But it'd be nice if we had like something like that.
Branded.
Yeah, it branded.
Brand simple how you do
Yeah, and then
this.
it'd be really good if we knew when the next sale was, we could put that date on there, or whenever we make a sale.
Or a little scan of it.
Yeah, right, check our Facebook page for the next.
Or they can just post there, they're like, hell, my trainer's dying.
Yeah, exactly, what are you gonna do? But it'd be nice if we just start, and then you can start, like maybe branding and getting some followers and stuff that people. In Colorado, we had a Dahlia sale, it's in the Dahlia Society, we had a Dahlia sale, we sell $10,000 worth of dahlias in 2 hours.
Like live friends or the two?
Tubers. And they were anywhere from, they were like $250 each. So that's a lot of stuff that you're selling for $10,000, right? But we had like, everyone signed up and then we sent out mail to them and to let them know that it was coming up and stuff. And then we had a lot of followers, but then it would like be a big line waiting for.
Was this your own sale, you guys, or it was like with another bigger plant?
No, it's the only the Colorado Dahlia Society.
Because, yeah, like, that's what, yeah, it'd be nice if we were a bigger club, that we can have our own sale, mini show, but, which they used to, as Hardware Plant Society, they used to offer it here.
But
Yeah.
nothing was expensive. I mean, it was $2-3 each. And a lot of people would walk out with $40 worth of stuff, right? So it was like, you can, usually, a lot of times you can sell a lot more if you price a lot lower.
Yeah.
And because people don't have a problem going, oh, 4 plants, $5 each, where they wouldn't buy anything before, but now they've spent $20, you know?
Yeah. Which, I mean, with Harmony, with the regular Rhizomus Rex mixes, those are still pretty cheap wholesale. Some rare species, I mean, the rare species we got, exciting. And I don't know if your canes are, so it's maybe like, if we do it again, sure, we order 3 cases of the Rex Rhizomus mix. And then we do our own canes and like rare and stuff.
Yeah, that's probably good. Yeah, it's good. All the stuff that you guys are doing is really good for us to. It'd be
I mean,
good.
it's not like we're gonna lose money, we're still gonna make some profit.
Yeah, I like going to that stuff.
Yeah.
I can hang out with traders, so it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'd be nice if we could maximize or capitalize on
Well,
what
definitely,
everyone
yeah.
wants.
Well, it's kind of a learning experience,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, going online, I think would be a good thing too, is like kind of do stuff people are posting about, because like Amphioxus maculata, everyone posts about maculata.
Yeah, when I assume after like the big cost of farm, like everyone else would have.
Yeah, it was surprising, everybody,
Surprising.
all those
Everyone-
canes, they were gravitating
Yeah.
right to those.
Stuff.
Yeah.
And.
Again, like, I guess I'm gonna keep that plan, I don't care for it, but.
Well, and I'm thinking there's all these cool polka dot, this, like original tails on and stuff, but. It's interesting.
But I think it'd be nice if we did this propagation to sell, but if we had an internal swap also first, like let's say we made a whole bunch to sell, but let's say we popped some just to swap in the club so that we could benefit from that first and then we could sell a bunch too. Cause it'd be nice for us to benefit from it too, like we all.
Yeah, I'm just trying to build up to that membership, people who are have that capability and property.
Yeah.
And not just, swap here, but also to donate some to sell.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the idea for next month's thing, so that we can get something more interesting for us. And then based on that, like if those do well, then we can do more of the kind of weird, interesting things. Cause like generally people are gonna go for the showy things if they're like the right price, like regardless of how weird they are.
Or how hard they are, people don't
Yeah.
care,
Yeah.
they just want the showy, pretty plant, and they
Yeah,
don't care if they
so
can take
sell
care of
like
it.
later fair house for $50, you know,
Yeah.
like no caps that sells.
Yeah.
But like we can price that stuff at like premium pricing, that's fine, because people are like, oh, sweet, I don't have to worry about getting shipped, it's live.
But in August, we could propagate for that for next year, right? Because it takes so long to grow those, right? So we could, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, like, you know, if we're providing these, like, you know, someone's like, hey, if you're successful, you know, we kind of hope that you're gonna donate one or a couple back to the club to sell it. for sales.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you choose to do on it is really up to you. Like, if you want to, that's fine. If you don't, no harm, no foul. Yeah, no, that's really good information to get from the sale, like how things were, like, kind of like what do you call that? After,
No follow-up.
yeah,
Post sale.
yeah. Well,
Now, I mean, you'll
follow-up.
find, like, there's lots of interest, a lot of people are like, they'll say like, oh, they're kind of intimidated, or like, I killed everyone I've had, or, but some of them, like, you just kind of talk to them, like, you know, you keep like a philodendron or a monstera alive, you know, it's kind of similar watering, you know, growing conditions and watering kind of schedule.
So maybe we should start with begonias are easy sort of outreach. And
Or
we got
like-
like a business card that has like some basic things on it, a little scan code that goes to our Facebook page or something, and we can hand that out.
Well, we had our original chat with sale, like, I did print out like a whole sheet of like, paragraph on care, begonias, care for the rhizomatous and rex, I don't know, that was.
Yeah.
Or just maybe when we're setting up on the sale, like we have a section like, here's the easy begonias, here's medium,
Yeah,
here's
beginner, yeah,
advanced, here's adult, or something, I don't know.
I think that would be a good thing to do too. This is great for beginners, right? Like have a little sentence, it's great for beginners, and that's that section right there. But they should also be like $5, right? Like, or 10,
Yeah.
or cheaper ones, right?
Because the thing is, like, some of the games they're kind of only like, really rude, we're like, well, once some are established, they're harder, but like, kind of right now, they do need a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, we can get them earlier next
Yeah.
time, or propagate them, yeah.
Yeah, at the biggest cactus show in Cleveland, they had a little information area that had like, a page of like soil care for cacti and a page about the society itself. Like, I thought that was really interesting to like kind of get people interested.
Yeah.
But the best thing would be if we could just do like a little business card, because it's super cheap to do like 1,000 business cards and you have a scan code like you were doing.
And I can just go to the national ABS's page for how to care.
How to care for it, right?
Yeah.
Or, but we could just start with
Yeah,
like
post it.
3 easy, just basically let it dry out and keep it kind of humid, right? You know, those are 2 good tips. You just say they like to dry out between watering and they like it humid. But we can just say that's, you know, if you, and you can just say things like, do you grow, like I know if they grow African violets or Gesnerias, you can keep up begonia alive, right? They're basically the same, you see them in the same areas all the time.
Accidentally keep an African violet alive.
Yeah, a lot of, I mean, the African violet people always go, oh, well, they're so easy. Well, some people don't think so, right? But if they had a couple of just basic things, you know, this is what we can do. But definitely, if it sounds like people are going, oh, those are too hard, because I just had someone say that to me yesterday. All right, they just died on me. All right, what are you doing? Like, here's the 2 things.
Which ones did you have? Because like,
Yeah.
there's maybe a piece for.
It could be good to have like, you remember your grade school days, like the trifold science fair poster boards?
Yeah.
Just have like a general infographic thing just to keep on the table with some example plants in the front. And have like, these are easy style plants to grow, and then explain the difference between a cane and what you need in those kind of situations.
Most
And then,
societies
yeah,
have
have,
something like
postcards that they can pick up that would have that information and the connection, or connecting, codes
So, yeah.
to the society page.
That makes sense.
So it sounds like we need to do some propagation of some more common things that people can recognize, right? That they see.
Doesn't have to be like regular.
Popular
I mean,
ones.
just think pink, purple, like that, and then kind of rare terrarium begonias that,
So which ones were they considering rare terrarium? Like,
well, that's what I was saying, like, my Ceratine Catalas, my Losada sold, and I priced those like $25 for. The Quinianas actually sold. I was kind of surprised because those are getting more common. And like whenever we have like our, at the pop-up, there's any spiky Verox, Nightmares, you know, those all, everything's like, who's
And I
spiky?
asked 50, 40 or 50, and there's,
Yeah,
and then I had everybody come
We
over and
can
ask and.
do that.
How much were those, what were we selling those for?
We didn't have any of those, just.
But when she's on for like 15,
At a
that's,
pop-up, yeah, so I've got
Yeah.
one of those.
So those are big money ones, we should look at buying those and propagating them over the winter and selling them next spring. Cause
Yeah.
those are, if we can get $50 a pop for those and we can sell out, right, that's the moneymaker.
The only thing I have found is they're very slow growing.
Yeah, right, that's what I was saying, so you have to do it.
well, then they also, if you're gonna leave, they also take like a while to develop the actual,
The Ferox.
the spikes.
When they're young.
Well, it still takes a half a dozen leaves for them to kind of start, because I have Milano.
Milanos are right up. You might have Ferox, because Milanos are.
No, it's Milano, I have to see leaves.
I have Milanos, and they get them when they're young.
I mean, they get like teeny tiny ones, but like for the more distinct, it kind of takes a year or so.
I had, gotten a QKY from Steve Lilly's last
Oh, cool.
year.
Yeah.
And, because I thought it was kind of cool when it got maybe one week over this summer, and then it got another one, and then it dropped off. Because I actually didn't have really full humidity. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna take the one that kind of, I was repotting and dropped off, and I'll propagate it. That was in January, and they are just popping up babies now, so how long that is.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, you have to get
Yeah,
them if you
it's
want to
like,
propagate.
I mean, Milanos, I feel like they probably because they propagate pretty quickly. I'm just saying, like mine seems like to develop really distinct spikes, it takes a while.
Yeah,
But I mean, I can still sell them even when they're little.
but we're selling starters,
Yeah.
yeah. So we can have a picture of what it looks like, right, or.
Although Steve used to have sale on Milano, so.
Yeah, but they're still $30 each, and they're little starters, so.
yours are usually pretty good size.
They always seem Because I saw that their picture was 2 by 2.
Yeah.
Little pot.
So beyond sales, like we have our sales broken down, things we need to do, lessons learned.
Yeah.
Get to go there. Cool. Now, the other aspects of that is education. How do we get more people to acknowledge begonias in a positive way?
Yeah,
I thought this was the year that the begonias are.
Oh, no, that's, but people are still afraid of begonias if they're not on YouTube.
well, I think we have to post more, and I think we should do it more like on TikTok, rather than just our Facebook page.
That's gonna be banned.
Was there an Instagram page also?
For us.
I forget his name now, he was supposed to be doing all the social media stuff.
Oh, what's his face? There's
Taller guy.
Jordan Bale, whatever.
JT or something.
He used to be in our,
One of the students.
yeah, I don't think he ever started.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the other, you can make an Instagram page.
But then someone has to be like, actually,
Yes.
Yeah.
contributing for me.
Yeah, like I have my personal stuff, which I do promote the site on, or the Facebook group on, but that's a little different, I'm not just doing begonias.
So what do you think is the purpose? Like, I think what we should do is define what the mission is, and then figure out how to, like, what the goal is. Because if the goal is to get more people interested in begonias, I really think we should propagate a whole bunch. And then
I mean, it's some of them cheaper, so because, I mean, like, back when we did Trout Arboretum, and then they also had that other work, the BLM begonias, where they propagated a bunch in their greenhouses, they were just selling canes for like $4 or $5, and they would sell a bunch.
But they were all the same thing, right?
Yeah, they only had like 3 different, or 4 different ones, and but it was, they had a couple canes, and then they had a couple of rhizomatous. I mean, they had 3 greenhouse space that they utilized.
But
Although eventually that killed their stock when it overheated in the summer,
But what are we trying to do? Are we trying to get people to grow begonias and try them?
All of them.
I mean, I did have
I think what we should do is we should just have a mass propagation, right, of like maculata or something like that. Or whatever we want to consider a good starter begonia, right? And we propagate a bunch of them, or we buy them, or whatever we're gonna do, and then we have like an open house and you give them away. Or you go to places and you give them away, or you sell them for so cheap, it's like giving them away.
Yeah.
Right, because you want people to take this plant and then try to grow it, right? And if we have our logo on it, come to a meeting, we'd love to see you back at a meeting, right? Give them the information, can someone follow up with you, right? And have someone call up and say, hey, we're gonna have a meeting, we'd love to see you there, we're gonna blah, 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 blah. Because I don't think, it's really hard, like we had the same problem with dahlias, it's like a lot of people didn't know how to grow dahlias. And what we would do is after the sale, we'd have like 100 extra tubers. And then they would take them to schools or whatever and have the kids grow them. And then we tried to do outreach stuff, like for instance, like some of the older people in the societies, they had a hard time with. Because I said, why don't we just give them out to kids, buy a bunch of the big ones, give them out to kids, and see who can grow the biggest dahlia. And they're like, why? You have to have a show dahlia. And I'm like, because it's easy for a kid to see a big dahlia and not necessarily concentrate on, you know, how it's formed and whether it's perfect, et cetera.
I mean, there's also so many people who are just begonias and they grow them. Like, there's a local Facebook group rooted in Columbus. There's people, and like, I try to be like, hey, come. But I think people just don't know really what plant societies are, or
Yeah, I mean, there has
or
to be
they're not
something
scared, you know, just
there,
people
right?
just, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna come, and then they just.
Well, I wonder if we use the Orchid Society sale in October as our end result, propagate a bunch of stuff, get our material together, try, because you have so much traffic there, and then try to promote there as a end result, you know,
As an outreach kind
as
of.
an outreach type of thing, and get people, this is our meeting, and, you know, if enough of us are there, you know, even if it is 2 days, just.
So the problem that we have though is if you're doing it in October, we only have one more meeting. That's the problem, right? Is that you
Oh,
have
no,
to.
no, we only have one more meeting here.
Right, but.
We all like that 10 was just the
Right.
meetings.
Right. But you have to plan something fun for them to come to for the next meeting, right? Like, because if you're inviting people, you want to invite them to like a cool event, right? Do you like this? We're gonna have a swamp, right? Or we're gonna have a internal. So it's gonna have to be like a two-phase thing, because just inviting them to come and listen to our business is not gonna work, right?
I mean, when I first started, I didn't really know what was on the agenda of the meeting. I just like, hey, that sounds cool. So I finally showed up to one, and they just happened to have like someone brought in a tray of begonias that they had propagated. They were like selling for $5 each, and then like some other people randomly brought in some cuttings. So it was like, that was kind of how it was at a lot of the meetings. Like, or some guy, like another meeting, somebody's like, oh, I went to this big nursery, bought a bunch of begonia hanging baskets at wholesale price. And they were just kind of just reselling them for maybe like $1 more than what they paid or something.
So I
So like, there was constantly either potted plants or cuttings that people were bringing in to sell or trade or just give away almost every meeting.
So the societies that I'm a member of are like 4 or 5 different ones. And the ones that are growing are the ones that have something for people every time they come, right? Like something fun is going on, or they can sign up for something fun. And it's not like, oh, trust us, it's gonna be fun. You can tell it's gonna be fun, right? Like, our African Violet Society, we have African Violet Bingo, which is a cool thing to do if you wanna teach people about African violets. So what we did is we talk about, so they'd call a number, and then you'd say a blurb about, this is the type of leaf that an African violet can have. This is when the first yellow African violet got created, blah, 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 like things like that. So you did it like an informational thing. And then.
But it was a game of like prices.
Right, and then when they got bingo, they got to pick, and people propagated stuff and brought it in, and then people got to take it. Some people, you know, would get a whole plant, or you get like a little starter, or some people got a little leaf, depending on what was up there or what people thought was interesting. But it's like something, then people would come, and they didn't have to pay anything, you know, you could charge for bingo cards or whatever if you wanted, or whatever, but they didn't have to pay.
You just paid a membership.
Yeah.
To become a member.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of an outreach thing, so there's some people that are gonna become members, but you could say the way that you are allowed to do this now is by becoming a member, because it's only, $10, is it? So it's only $10, it's no big deal. For $10, you get to play bingo, and you're gonna go home with probably 2 or 3 begonias, right? That's like a really good benefit to people.
So
So
it's
if
not
you did
maybe
like-
like how much, 40 or something?
Yeah, or,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, something like that, but you could do something fun like that, anything, right? You can think of other things to do, right? You could do, we could bring plants and then we could just have them up there, we could do something like a white elephant party with begonias, and they have to unwrap them, and then they see if they want it, if they get somebody else, right? Like, it's people having a good time and fun and stuff like that. So, I mean, you can do more fun things like that, but like I said, it should be, if you're gonna outreach to people, you wanna invite them, and then you wanna have something, you want to get them to become members and have something fun for them to do.
And I,
2.5 things, since I mentioned it already. I was just gonna second the, so not here or whenever in the fall, because I can definitely propagate well outside.
yeah.
It's when things need to come inside for winter that I have.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
It's
it's summer. But that would be a good opportunity, yeah, to have some sort of display and information that people can just take if they're still not okay with actually getting a begonia. Like, here's information, like, it's not that hard, don't worry about it. But I also wanted to bring back like the kind of like happy hour idea I had last time. Because yeah, Baker's Acres has.
maybe the draft room would be like, hey, can we
Exactly.
close that begonia?
Because they're a
Happy hour.
family friendly place too, right?
With a raffle, maybe we do a raffle,
Yeah.
And maybe
or
we could get
a
is
terrarium.
that a brewing company or something that would maybe do a tasting or something?
Well, the owners of Baker's Acres were saying they own like a,
They own Raptor.
yeah,
In
this,
Westerville.
but I mean, I've never been to some of them, but.
It's kind
They
of.
have like, I think they have like, they sometimes like have their own plants there for sale, but
They
they
do.
might, they would let us maybe post an event there.
Yeah, or like some other local brewery, like I'm pretty sure Nocterra would allow it there towards Powell.
There was one in, that the resident Cleveland Library had, on Main Street.
Yeah.
Same thing, that they had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There, people were playing, actually, I got 2 really nice free begonias, because it was a plant trade swap thing.
Yeah, or maybe we could do an
or
ice cream.
swap, which
Ice
is
cream
a good idea.
social or something
Yeah.
like that, get an ice cream shop, and then you could do a begonia swap and invite people to bring begonias.
It's-
We would
it's
bring
just-
the bulk of them, but hopefully we get other.
I think just keep in mind, like, all these events require planning, which is more
Yes.
business time during our regular meetings. So
Yeah,
I don't know, we just gotta create like balance of like doing, like, do we just wanna make our regular meetings fun, or are we gonna do outside events that require planning out or?
well, the idea for the draft room, I was thinking could be in place of like a meeting that we don't have time for here. So like in November,
Yeah.
people are starting to
That
be
could be
covered.
if we do the October thing to advertise, oh, this will be.
Yeah, and that could be a follow-up event.
Yeah.
But my other question was, because you've been contacting the person at OSU, would having a meeting at OSU, like, with some of their students make sense?
I can ask.
And that way we could get student.
That's kind of what we tried when we first started, because I thought like, oh, these, not also Braxton's like, oh, they're gonna teach us stuff, they're like, actually, we don't know a whole lot about the goodness, we just think they're cool art sessions and higher presentations and something like that.
Yeah,
So it was like, I don't like, aside from the doctor you're talking to, I don't know if there's any other begonia like experts over.
yeah, but there could be students that are at least interested in it, and that could help us get.
We could put a recruitment sign on it.
No, that's very, that makes a lot of sense, especially in the education aspect.
Yeah,
Because like, even though they can't relate specifically to begonias, they can relate to certain like soil types.
Right.
Or everybody has their specialty.
Yeah.
They can relate to begonias.
like environments and.
Yeah. Yeah, so that is a good idea.
And then, what I'm talking is for challenge plants, to make the challenge plant even more exciting besides being a free plant, offer a prize for like the follow-up in 6 months. Bring it, whoever had, like, we all vote on who has the nicest plant, that person wins like $50 gift certificates, like acres and acres or something. So like, you're actually incentivized to like.
Yeah.
Take care of, you know, try to do your best. As far as like new rice, I just kind of like forget about it, neglect it, but like.
But you picked a good one, I think, this time.
Yeah, that was like, it was easy, but I think I had one of these like first time growing food owners and then did not do well with it, so. I mean, if it's okay, I move the motion, we come back in, we take these as our town plan now, in October, our final meeting, kind of our end of the year thing. We see how it is, and I'm, as treasurer, I'll get like a $50 gift certificate.
And why don't we vote it, right?
Yeah, we vote.
And then we
We
vote.
might be able to get the certificate donated if we say like.
Well, Baker's already kind of donated
That's
like a
true.
couple hundred.
But maybe Steve's leaves would have.
Maybe.
But yeah, maybe some other, if we say something about like.
Or maybe Harmony.
advertisers.
Since we're, well,
Or maybe we could
Yeah.
get a box of cuttings from the Goni Bank.
We can always get
I mean, we
those.
could do something like that.
There's also the guy, what's his name, Borkin, he lives in New York State. He runs the Kingsville USA Facebook page. He's head of the hybrid preservation for Kings. He cuts back his begonias every fall and he brings them inside. I don't know what he does with cuttings. I'm gonna reach out and be like, hey, do you want to show us some cuttings? We'll pay for shipping and send you a donation to the fund or whatever.
Yeah.
Because he's got like some old, bunch of like heirlooms, paint varieties. Although I think his main time is when he prunes them as in the fall, so that's over winter propagation we have to do with those.
I mean, personally, that's okay for me, because I grow all the way.
But I'm gonna do a better basement, so that I go with this one.
Oh, wait, are you going to expand your crawl space?
She's reorganized. Reorganized, redid my shelving in my basement, like setting up the grow tents. But even all those nice dogs, I just did in the plastic.
So are we doing anything, like, say we wanted to buy any of these, or have to?
Yeah, well, do we have anything to wrap up?
Yeah,
No, like, that's kind of the feedback from the event, and like, what we can do better,
Okay.
was kind of that point.
You're gonna let people know that the May meeting is canceled, we're looking to reschedule the following weekend, and you'll keep us updated.
Yes, I'm iffy on the following weekend, because I'm doing something.
He already said he couldn't.
Oh, okay.
So
But-
I think what we said earlier was that we just skipped the main meeting, right? And then June is it. It's just easier, let's not make a bunch of work for
Okay.
ourselves,
Well,
right?
he's ordering these plans from In Search of Small Things, and I don't know, I'll figure out what's going on, and then.
No, I mean, I'm fine with all
Yeah,
that. It's only a couple, but, yeah. Okay,
Oh, and then, did you bring the signs, or the sign, I have the signs in my car to give to you at your sale. I do need to get the name of that, the email of that one who signed up. Yeah, she says she's an older woman, she says she grows some begonias and she's like, oh, I didn't know she was interested, and then she's also planning on joining the Cactus Recycling Society, so I wanted to make sure we loop her in.
yeah, I have somebody ready for that, the person I talked to at Midwest Cactus Society, was interested as well, but I just haven't, anywhere.
House.
I'm gonna dig or something.